Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Heavy Metal Devils. This is Danny, and I'm bringing you the match preview for Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest this Saturday at 3 p.m. Now, just before we get into this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as we can. All right, let's just jump straight into this team talk first. All right, let's talk about Manchester United and the wild couple weeks that we've had. Our campaign has not started off well. Yes, we got the win against Wolves a couple weeks ago, but that was one of the worst wins and worst home performances I have seen in a very, very long time. We were very lucky to come out with a win, very lucky to not concede a penalty in the last few minutes of the game. And to be honest, they could have scored 3 or 4 goals past us if they had their finishing on point, which they didn't, which is all right for us. We still came out with the win. But it was an absolutely dismal performance from not just the midfield, but everybody on that pitch, barring maybe Andre Onana. That dude's been our best player, and that's not saying a lot at the moment. Then the following week, we had a game against Spurs, which we kind of expected to be more of an open goal fest kind of game, or at least I did. And yet again, in the first half, we actually looked pretty decent. We were creating good chances and holding possession pretty well, but we just kept missing chances, like Rashford with Bruno, Antony missing chances over and over again. And also not a penalty that should have been given our way for a handball. But we can't let these things get us down, and that's what keeps happening. As soon as we start missing chances, not getting things going our way, we become almost like petulant little children. Our heads drop, we forget what our team structure is supposed to be, and we just start playing for ourselves. And this has been an instance for a very long time now, and I'm not sure why it keeps happening. It's kind of like leftovers from the Ollie reign. I just know when we had Ollie in charge, we had a lot of good results. But he was he just basically told the players to go out there and enjoy yourself. No big mention on tactics or anything. He would just line up what he thought would be the best squad for the week and told them to go enjoy themselves. And it looks like they are having a very, very hard time breaking out of that cycle, like adjusting to a style of play, to be disciplined. It seems like we're really struggling with that. And I find that kind of mind-blowing because so many of these players now have been brought in over the last year and a half. They're not all these players. Yeah, we have Rashford, Shaw, Sancho still. But for the most part, it's been kind of a revamped squad for the most part. I mean, I'm surprised that they're having such a struggle to adjust to a style of play, it seems like. And not to mention the fitness is a shambles, guys. What have we been doing for the last few weeks? It seems like they're training and then they're going out and partying all night long, eating McDonald's, drinking beers, and they come back looking extremely sluggish. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's something to do not necessarily with the coaching, but maybe the lifestyle choices of these players are not that great, and that could be down to our fitness team, our coaching behind Erik ten Hag, like the medical team, the diet advisories they get, all that. I'm not too sure, guys. I'm just throwing things out there why our fitness could be bad at the moment, and it's very reminiscent of what's happened last year, except we have 3 points better. And I wouldn't say that we earned those 3 points. But anyway, guys, we have to look ahead. We have to remain positive. Now, Mason Mount. Mason Mount is now injured for the next 4 to 6 weeks, which is a pain because I thought Nottingham Forest could be a good game for him to kind of learn more, to sit back, break up play a bit more, but that won't be happening. So we're going to have to put a replacement in for Mason Mount, and we'll get to that as soon as I do my team selection. But he hasn't been the greatest at the moment. He looked okay in the first, maybe the first 20, 30 minutes during Spurs and then fell off again. We found out that he exited that game with a hamstring injury that's going to keep him out for the next month or so, till we're back from the internationals break. And I hate international breaks, by the way, but I think we really, really need one. And also, we've also had a couple behind closed doors games. Last week, we had one against Everton, and this week, we had one against Burnley, which everybody seems to be talking about, that we lost 3-0 to Burnley. I mean, who honestly gives a shit? We had Johnny Evans playing on that team. We had mainly all of our backups and youth playing in that team. This was just fitness. If you're taking anything out of a closed door game, getting beat, I don't know, man. I don't know what I can do to help you. Not saying that we've had a good preseason or anything. We need all the match fitness we can get, but people are coming out thinking that we played our first team during this closed door game and we got our ass whipped. Nah, dude. I mean, it's not great to lose like that, but dude, these were a lot of youth players and guys that will probably barely even play, if even play this year. So I wouldn't read too much into it because we beat Everton last year or last week and no one said a fucking thing about that. So, yeah, anyway. Manchester United at the moment, not in a great spot, whether it's on the field, off the field. This whole Greenwood could be a distraction. This joke of a club sale could be a distraction. There's so many factors that could be going into why this club is not performing right now. And it all starts from the top. I kind of made the analogy yesterday that it's like a syrup tree, and the Glazers are the head of the tree, and all that syrup of shittiness and no motivation to do well is seeping into everybody else. And that's how I feel at the moment. Anyway, hopefully Manchester United can turn this around. I think Forest is the perfect game to do so because we've got 2 huge games coming up that I am very, very worried for. So we need to start clicking and we need to do it in this game. Anyway, let's talk about Nottingham Forest for just a minute. Nottingham Forest, I think everyone is familiar with their play style. Very direct, love the counterattack. They've got powerful players as well. And if you haven't forgotten, they also have one of our players that we used to have, an Anthony Elanga, and he is a speed demon, which we haven't really been dealing well with the past 2 games, you could say. We've really struggled against pace. So I'm a bit worried about that. I'm not too worried about Anthony Elanga. He's got pace, but not much else. He did set up a goal the other week, I believe. But to be honest, other than pace, I'm not really expecting too much from Elanga if he even plays that much. But they have had an all right start. They lost against not Crystal Palace, Arsenal. And I believe over the weekend they had a win, but I can't remember against who. But we all know how Nottingham Forest play. It's very direct, very counter-attacky style football. Powerful players up front that can shove us off the ball quite easily. But I'm gonna be shooting myself in the foot here. I'm honestly not expecting them to do much coming to Old Trafford. I probably just jinxed it. Anyway, guys, let's get into our lineups. So here we go. This is the lineup I am expecting to see start this game on Saturday. Here we go. In net, is there anybody else? Andre Onana. Now, as the right back, I am going to go with Diogo Dalot on this game. I see us holding possession way more. He actually looked quite decent coming off the bench last week. And I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been good, but not great, and doesn't offer as much in attacking wise. Yes, he set up the Rafael Varane goal, but how often does he do that? So I see him giving Diogo Dalot a run in the team here for at least this game. Not sure about, Arsenal yet, but at least for Nottingham Forest, we got Dalot as a right back. Then we've got Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez, and Luke Shaw to round off that back line. No changes there. I believe Malacia is still injured. We all know the status of Harry Maguire. I'd be surprised to even see him in the squad again. I really think they're trying to push him out. And I don't see Lindelof starting this. So same back 4 except for Diogo Dalot. Now in the midfield, this is where things change up because we've got that Mason Mount injury. In the 6, we've got Casemiro, of course. Now, I've been kind of contemplating on who to put next to Casemiro, and I came with Christian Eriksen on this one. I see us wanting to hold the ball a lot more. I don't think we're going to try and let Nottingham Forest do much, so we need people that can really hold the ball and that are good in possession. And Christian Eriksen already knows how to line up with Casemiro. So I would expect kind of a similar midfield to last year. So Casemiro, Eriksen, and then in the 10, none other than our club captain, Bruno. And he honestly really needs to step up this game. He has been pretty awful the last few games, and I think his performance really drips into everyone else. If he's not doing well, I think everyone else feeds off that, and we can't let that happen. He needs to really be a captain and have a good game this week. Up front, on the right, I'm going to go, this is going to be a shout, and I think it's going to be Antony, but I would love to see Pellistri get a run out. Yes, now I know that Pellistri is in talks with Sheffield United about a loan move, and I just think that is just a bad idea, at least not before January. I think he needs to stay and prove himself, and I think he really can. So I want to see Facundo Pellistri out on that right-hand side. He's really our only natural right winger that we have. Antony doesn't hold that position out on the byline. He loves to cut in and shoot. And more than often, someone in the stands is getting a souvenir to take home from Antony. So I'd like to see Pellistri start. On the left, this time, I think we're going to put Marcus Rashford down the left, guys. He can't play up front anymore. He can't. He's too lethal on the left to not have him play on the left. So Marcus Rashford on the left. Garnacho drops to the bench on this game because he hasn't really earned another start, in my opinion. Here's where I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet. I'm going to put Anthony Martial up front today, up for this game. He played midweek. He had some minutes last week in Tottenham. And there's talks about Rasmus Højlund being fit for this game, but I don't think he's going to start. I can see him coming off the bench in the second half because I don't know how much fitness he has. So seeing that Anthony Martial has had a few games now with no injury, I think we can try and stick him in and see what happens. But don't play him the whole game. Whether we can put Højlund in for him, whether we can bring in Sancho to play that false 9 later on in the game, we cannot let Anthony Martial play an entire game. But I can see him starting this game because we need to start with a striker, a proper striker this time. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, guys. I think that could be that's my predicted / preferred lineup I'd like to see. Let me know down below. What do you think? Do you think we should make any changes up there? In the midfield, maybe? We have to make changes in the midfield. Mount's out for now. But what do you think about that forward line? Who could we bring in to give, to bench someone, let someone take a seat and see how things are done maybe? For me, Pellistri has to start this game. Anyway, guys, let's move on to score predictions. And boy, this is very hard at the moment. Very, very hard. I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory. I don't know why. I don't know what I've seen that warrants us scoring 2 goals. But I think we're going to get a 2-1 victory. I think we'll score. I think we'll be like around 2-0 around minute 65. And then we let our head slip a bit. They get a goal back and we kind of turn it back on again. But yeah, I'm going with 2-1 to Manchester United. I want to say 4 or 5-0, but honestly, there is no evidence to show that we can even come close to scoring 3 goals, let alone 2. So even 2-1 could be a stretch for me. So anyway, that's what I have. That's going to be your match preview predictions for Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest this Saturday at 3 p.m. I want to hear below all your score predictions. Put them down below. And who do you want to see starting this game? Also, put that down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the next one. Later.